Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankees will have a trio of all-stars sending to the Midsummer Classic there in Atlanta. Phase 1 is done of the voting there. And, of course, no doubt about it, Aaron Judge will get the start just because he was a leading vote getter of all of baseball. But a couple of Yankees we kept our eye on. Really, one of them, second one that kind of snuck in there, of course, Paul Goldschmidt at first base, which we kind of knew there. But also, looks like Ben Rice also kicked in late in the game there. So Judge will start, but could potentially have up to 3 starters for the All-Star game there. So kind of break it down how the whole thing works, and did cover one of the YouTube episodes, but I guess we'll just shine some light here on it as well there, just to make sure we cover all the bases. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, the podcast, wherever you get your favorite podcast. And as I mentioned before, go to the YouTube afterwards, subscribe there as well. So the All-Star voting, which, it's just kind of a fun thing, really doesn't mean anything, but nevertheless, you always like to see your guys in there, kind of makes it fun to watch, just, kind of gives you a reason to watch. You want to see them against the best competition. And of course, Judge, we knew he was going to be the starter there, just because, obviously just the numbers he's putting up, the season he's having, and again, he's been pretty much the leading vote getter all the way. So because he's automatically penciled in as the starter there. Now, whether he plays, probably going to play, I guess, assume right field, but again, he has option to play center as well. We know his ability, but he'll probably play right field. But what was interesting was a couple of other Yankees in the mix, and that was one of them called Paul Goldschmidt, who at one point was leading first baseman, but looks like Vlad Guerrero Jr. finally caught up with him and eclipsed him there. So now, basically what they do is they take basically for each position the top 2 vote getters, and they have then a kind of a one-on-one face-off. So phase 1 is done. Phase 2, which starts this coming Monday, where now you can vote. So when you have 2 for each position, you could vote on who you want to be the starter. So as mentioned before, fans could choose between Paul Goldschmidt and Vlad Guerrero Jr., and over the DH area, kind of snuck in there late in the game there, was now Ben Rice and Baltimore's Ryan O'Hearn. Now, probably one of the benefits of Rafael Devers being traded out of the league is probably if Devers was still in there, as the DH, he would probably be the shoe in there, but now he's sent out packing to San Francisco, so perhaps, again, that might have opened the door to some others like O'Hearn and Ben Rice to get some more votes. So those are the 2 finalists for the DH spot. So good news for the Yankees that even at the very least, even if Paul Goldschmidt and Ben Rice lose out, they'll still be at the All-Star there. So Yankees, again, at a minimum right now, have 3 All-Stars going there, and potentially, at least Judge is going to start, but, you could have 2 starters or maybe up to 3 starters. So we'll just see how fans get out there and vote. If I had to guess, probably, I'm assuming Guerrero probably get the starting job over Paul Goldschmidt, even though there's a lot of Yankee fans out there, which I'm sure will be stuffing the ballot box. Still, you would probably, even though Paul Goldschmidt's having a really good season for the Yankees, Guerrero's somewhat of a superstarish type of player, so I'll just assume just by the name alone, kind of your casual fan around the league. Again, Guerrero's younger, he's 25, he just signed a big contract, he's kind of the face of the Blue Jays, whatever that's worth. I would expect probably Guerrero to start and win the phase 2 vote. DH, it's up in the air a little bit. I guess if I had to guess 50-50, I don't know. Not say 50. I'll say 60-40. Probably O'Hearn gets it a little bit over Rice. Just, not saying O'Hearn's like, tremendous superstar or anything like that. But, people might figure, it's too many Yankees. There's always Yankee All-Stars. Even though Ben Rice is a young kid making no money. They do, Jeter would always get that, as he, I remember Jeter always gets slighted for things just because you're a Yankee and you're a team of superstars where, Jeter would get, whether it was an MVP vote or some sort of accolade, it would always go to the other player because it's like, well, you're on the Yankees, you're on a superstar team with $1 billion, blah, 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 blah. So if I had to guess, probably Judge will be the only starter and Goldschmidt and Rice will be coming off the bench, which is fine. It's not really a big deal either way there. And in terms of pitches, that's all up in the air because it all depends when the game is. And you don't want to interfere with the starting pitches, whether on their day off or their throw day. So, you might have someone who's named, but just the way the rotation shakes out, they're not available in that game. And, like Max Fried could get in there, but let's just say he pitched 2 games before that and he's not available, then he may not be available. And so even though he's having this great first half of the season, he might not even pitch. So pitch is a little funky, though, when it comes to the All-Star game. Again, back in the day, Nolan Ryan and Roger Clemens and these guys will all be in there, but obviously it's just a different game right now. So that's all up in the air. We'll see how it is. And, of course, Luke Weaver, who normally, if he didn't get hurt and miss some time, probably would be an All-Star as well. But, again, that's no shoe in either there. So we'll see how that all shakes out. Again, pitching is a little touchy when it comes to that just because, the days off and stuff like that. A starting position player, it's a whole different ball game there. So at a minimum, the Yankees will have 3 All-Stars, 1 starter, maybe up to 3 starters. We'll see how the voting goes there, but at least we'll have 3 All-Stars going there representing the Yankees. So that's the episode. Congratulations to all involved, and we'll catch you next time.